right, everybody, let's get right to it. How's everyone doing on a Tuesday before Thanksgiving? Great to be back. All right. Yep. How's everyone doing today? Let's get to kind of the topical things. Bitcoin. What are we going to do here? Yeah, crypto. We'll talk about Nvidia in a minute. I don't think you guys are used to me starting close to noon. So if you're not subscribing, do subscribe, hit the like button. If you get notifications, you know exactly when I go on, but we're usually here Tuesday, Thursday, 12 noon Eastern. Let's start with Bitcoin because I think that's what everyone's looking at. And I still think we're in an uptrend. We know the target's 38.7, call it 39. Now, right now on the 4-hour, this is Coinbase feed. Last week we had the Gartley. I was talking about that. Never got the full check back. Never got the full retest. What do you do with there? Well, remain patient. Okay, still on a tight rope off of that type 1. Go to, say, daily, weekly, because that's what you're trying to crack here. A little bit of an inside week with Sunday's close. So you never were able to pop up above the prior week high and where you settled in. At least you settled in at the top end of that bar. So let's see what happens this week. Can't they bust it out? Can they get it above that 38? Get some kind of continuation. Otherwise, are we going to pause up here, take a look at where we are? We are overbought weekly HSI, amplified, and standard RSI. That would have to continue now to keep that in the overbought range. So amplified maybe maybe another week, 2 weeks. At least these are registering some high readings. But what likely is developing here, you go into this sideways range grind, if you will, where 38, 39,000 is top end, and then 35 is the bottom, and you don't moon. You just continue to grind sideways to higher over the next few months. Keep an eye on it. We've come a long way. We've come a long way since back in the day, since HSIs were triggering, and even type 2s. I mean, go back to this other bat pattern. Remember, that just seems like a long time ago. But for now, we're up there. And I'm just not surprised to see this thing not moon just yet. The other general trend range to consideration. Don't forget, we're at the top end of this whole range. Where is my... Come on. Every time I lose which side that is. There you go, regression channel. It's under the trend line thing, but it looks like this. You guys remember that? So we are, no matter what, however you want to paint it, we're real close. Scraping even dynamic topside resistance, and there's target 1, 38,761. So stick with that. And you've got to follow Bitcoin because that's the allocation trigger. Great to see everybody today. What's up? Crypto Headquarters, Street Shark, Justin, Frankie, Victoria, Vlad, Mr. Lodak, welcome back. Miss Stephanie, Justin. 2 Justins. Spelled differently. APV, yo. Great to see everybody. You guys let me know if there's a couple of coins. I'm going to blow through Bitcoin here, maybe do our top 5 things we should be looking at. Ethereum, listen, it's not huge on Ethereum in terms of massive daily bullish setups that are going to launch this. In fact, 2130 level, 2100 seems to be some resistance for now. And, it's probably more about the $2,000 level. There you go. That's what I was looking for. I mentioned this last time. With a lot of the bearish patterns that we'll see in crypto, and we will see bearish patterns as it comes together. But this is the kind of pattern strategy where if the trend is strong, coming off these lows, and we get these kind of patterns, we want the reactions, and then we want to play for the return move. That what we're looking for is a blowout. You're looking for it after the reaction to do the blowout move. So that's okay. Respect the patterns coming off the lows. But once they do the reaction, we get confirmation. It's probably another launch point. Few more. Yeah, how about XRP? What are you doing with this? This thing seems like a absolute laggard. You printed a whole bunch of HSI signals here on the daily. So as it did that crazy flush up move to 75. I guess that was the fake ETF news, and they smacked it back down. Well, you're about where you want to be. I mean, you have a collection of these HSI signals, harmonic strength index, that are oversold, amplified, nope, standard RSI. Okay, you're at the 50 finally. You need to see this thing really stabilize, right? 60 cents. Probably a place maybe to add if it pops under that 60 cents. And there's a 4-hour just starting to come out. So maybe now you mix that daily with the 4-hour. Start looking, like I said, 60-cent range. I'm okay with that. And 90 something, 93 is still target for year end. It's kind of a bold call. Cardano, only because market cap wise, we're up there. We hit some patterns, some prior daily patterns. These are type 2s. So Cardano, yellow dot, can't get above that hop level at 40. Let's cap it here for now. Just cap it there. Great move, 25 to 40. I'll take that every day. So just don't be surprised to see this thing go sideways for a little while, or even give up more of these gains. Just for now. Not a big one, but for now. A couple more. I guess we could say top 5, but even Link is trying to get a little top heavy up here. Okay, yes, deep crab, bearish deep crab that got blasted through. I do like the fact that you have a bullish HSI right around $13. The best thing for that would be to come back to 13.4, stabilize for another 5-10 days before it goes and does any resumption. Not much here. I mean, you're not, it's already up 250%, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, but you are looking for things to build 1350 or so, not to go under 1250. I mean, the thought with Link and a lot of these that are trending hard like this is that they keep building and building. Much like Solana. I think Solana is probably the model of what a blast off moon phase, how that should take shape. So Solana's oversold again, retesting generally the 52 area, 51 area HSI arrows here. And with Solana and the rest, if you're going to grab that assumption and say that this is on a rope to target 1, which is up at 130, and I'll get to that in a second, these have to hold. That's what you're saying. You're saying this is just holding, pausing before the next thrust. So we know what the deal is on Solana too. There's a couple of patterns and connect the dot kind of situations, but look, it's a bat, it's a shark. Target 1 is at 124. So, and that's what you're gunning for. You're down there looking 124. Eventually, I think the weekly, yeah, the weekly's 139. Weekly, it's a shark. Bat pattern on the daily, but you guys get the point. So a $10 fluctuation, if you're not into this, okay, maybe a place to start looking on a pullback if it can trigger. But your assumption has to be that this thing is just going to ride on a rope. So even if you have like a negative week, a red candle week, you should not be pulling back more than, say, under 47. But just keep an eye on that. I like that because it's a perfect looking left type of pattern. Like, hey, we're here a year from now, okay? We're December 2024, okay, and we're up in here. We say, all right, that was a reason for why I considered this for the crypto 2024 run. There's a few others. AVAX, Avalanche. It's another one. Where'd you go? Yeah, it's up there. Big weekly pattern. Target 163.91. You know, that was $9 back in September. October even. That would have been the place. $8. Now 21, but you're looking for 63.91. So you're still a ways. You are, take a look at the 4-hour. This is one of the better charts now of what I've been looking at. Oh, come on. Really interesting setup here. If I can get the pattern, there it is. So we had a deep crab. It's a regular crab on the hourly. No surprise that we have this kind of reaction. All right, right down to 20.08. The low was like 20. Now here's the whole thing where bearish patterns become your friend. Okay, when you go back to T2. Well, there it was. So target 2 slammed, no blowout, no blow through. So that should be something that should catch your eye. Where we are now, still trying to resolve this. Target 2 on this is still 1837. Okay, indecision time. Do nothing yet on this. But I will say this. Your next level acceleration is above 2420. Be aware of that. So that's a great example of looking at patterns on both sides, bearish and bullish. Doesn't necessarily need to be just a bullish pattern if we understand the framework. Reaction, pause. All right, if this is going to really fail, you blow through that zone. Hasn't failed yet. One or two kind of situational things that fit in well with what's going on currently of how to strategize. Crypto.com was priced to 0. Absolutely. Was priced to 0. Oh, there's a few patterns here. So hourly chart, nice little crab pattern that just popped up. And a full type 2, retest the bat, all around 8 cents. Now, get a little perspective on this T coin. And yeah, it's a T coin. All right, your low was 5 cents. So we get a pullback to 8 cents. You're really not buying that much off the low. You're making an assumption that that's the low. That's it. And we're looking for this. Probably best to look at it on even a 4-hour. Let me just pull this up. Just this is a new trend right there. So this is crypto.com. It's just a way to think about where you are. Not only waiting for a pullback, but essentially saying, okay, this thing's waking up. It went to 12 cents, that is. And you are, 30% pull back already. You almost did a 50% pullback. So that's exactly what we're looking for. One more. Something that I mentioned a while back at 17 cents. Where'd you go? Come on. And, oh yeah, look at this. Now it's right back. So here's Fetch AI. And this is going to be another one that we're going to track for a while. Big patterns here. Okay, Gartley, 17 cents. Now 54. What's going to happen here? Because we're up here retesting the 886. What normally we would think is that the 886 usually going to get some kind of resistance. Like let's say we're going to do, there you go, there's a 94. 886 would be right there. So 886 is 56 cents. But if it's something like this, some kind of crab pattern, and then go for the cycle, yeah. What you're anticipating, and again, this could happen now. We are hitting the 886, so at 56 cents, it's really going to tell us quite a bit of whether or not it does it now, straight on through, or does something more like give us the W right there, and then do like a 382, 40%, something like that. And that would get you back to the high 30s, and then do deep crab, kind of a 1618 breakout. In either way, you're looking for this to be, this move to be a 1618 rally eventually. And if it gets crazy, okay, how do we project that? Go to the 314. I'm not saying this, I'm just saying what would be the next level above 80 cents. 80 cents is not too crazy of an idea. But if this becomes something more, 314 puts you much higher. Let's just say it that way. Let's say it that way. And the weekly all-time, there you go. I mean, that's a beautiful look. When I say looking left, okay, I would love for everyone to be into something like this. There you go. Hold on, let me clean up the chart. I think this is probably even a better way to go. Let's connect dots. I've done this before. X, A, B with the type 2. C, target 2 is 82 cents, but if that's an all-time bat, that goes to 113. If this is going to do some massive cycle move, well, 1618's like that. Probably better to do that on a weekly. $2. Wouldn't be the first time, right? Big correction cycle, come back. 1618 is right there, was exactly the peak on the first move. And then eventually you went up, what'd you do? Barely a 2618. There's a few of those. And I think what you're seeing, we had a pullback just last week. I remember I was highlighting this in the Discord. It was like at 41 cents. Where'd it go? It was back here. There were a couple patterns like that right there. There's too much going on there, but here, let me just hide the arrows. Just clean it up. So continue to look for 5-minute stuff like this. Let me hit a few of them. Understand where you are on your weekly, daily. And then let's look for a couple others that, as I said last time, have not moved yet. I think this Fantom, and that was under 30 earlier. This was just 37 not too long ago. But here's the thing. Perfect type 1 on Fantom went as high as 38. Target 1 was 35.88. Do we come back here? Because I would say if we even got to 25, that would be a perfect type 2. And then that thing would skyrocket. That's the one thing I'm with a lot of these that did a first thrust in the last month. You almost want to have them come back, retest, and then really go. What I showed you on like crypto.com, that's an hourly chart. Why? Because you're assuming that that daily is on the run. Couple more things that I think are interesting. Where's the... You got to be kidding me. Hold on. Here's something that popped this scale, but again, just another swing 886. Just understand that when that happens, that's it for now. I think I mentioned that before. A few other ones. Okay. Bitten sore. This is when I know we're getting a little too crazy. All right, 40, 300. How you doing? 40, 40, and what was that? Yep, 40 was October 19. 45 maybe. Yesterday was Kiss 300. Don't care what it does. That's too much too fast. Had a little too much too fast. Here's a couple that I do like. So synthetics, not saying jump it now because there's a lot of situations like this where you have bearish patterns off the low. We're looking for this kind of a thing. Do the reaction, and then that would be the move. I talked about this last week, and now we're seeing a lot of bearish patterns hit as they come off the low. And again, it'll be on the failure after the reaction for an accelerated moon phase, if you want to call it that. Okay. Nice patterns. Synthetics is on the weekly. Check this out on the weekly. So you tell me, where are we on the weekly chart relative to target 1? Because target 1's 1325. What about confirmation? All the way back here a year ago. Relatively speaking, hasn't done much, although it doubled off the low. But you're looking for some kind of breakout. You can't get above 360. Then it tells you something. So you've back-to-back patterns on a daily time frame for synthetics. You've got weekly zone resistance here. You know, you've just been consolidating 150 to $3. So come back a little bit on that, no problem. But line it up. Definitely a pattern looking left. Here's another pattern looking left that, you know, Storj looked like it was going to go to the moon. It ran into some resistance. So that's it for now. Wasn't that a weekly? There's something there on the weekly as well. Hold on. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll move on from that. Let's look at totals. Interesting stuff happening in totals. So, and I know not really total 1. as much as stuff like DeFi. So big bat pattern on DeFi index. I'll get to total one in a second. But we see something that's pretty common for moves that don't want to get out of the zone. So you got your zone. It has parked itself in that range of the zone. You have an XA level, you have an ABCD component, and you have a BC metric. Those are the three that make up the zone. The fact that you can't get out there and there and there, it's not coincidental. I mean, that really helps you to understand, is it happening now or it's going to take more time? DeFi, it's probably going to take more time. Let's blow it up. Understand that the inability to bust through last week, Sunday's close, literally Sunday night, we closed it. It wasn't a constructive candle. You might even say doji, almost hangman, but not quite. But just the inability to not only close above that prior high, but make progress out of the range, out of the zone, telling you something. So might cool its jets for a little bit. You're also up here on amplified. This is the DeFi market cap index. Okay, so we came to its limit. We couldn't bust through to really get into some new price discovery for the move and wants to digest. Go to total 3. Sorry, total 3. Ethereum, Bitcoin removed. Same deal. Not even as strong. That is pretty much hangman doji. And yeah, not almost perfect. And no follow through, really critical for this market. And check it out. So you are overbought. You're doing an inflection now. Only took 24 hours. I mean, you hit the level. You closed in an unimpressive fashion on Sunday. Now you're doing the inflection. A close under last week's low is all you need. 388. And I'm just saying to go into a pause. Okay? Where you're just going to negotiate this type of range for a couple of weeks. Think of it like this. We're going to trigger that HSI. We'll bounce up here. We could probably make another run, try to retest like 440. But don't be surprised to see this go sideways grind at least for another 2 weeks into the end of the month. No follow through. You're done for now. There's total. That's actually, it's not too bad. But you're in this trend line. You're the top range of that little micro trend line. I think I mentioned this, like if you were going to do something, some gangbuster move, you would be busting above that now. You would follow through. This is exactly the kind of assessment where you can get big green candlesticks or any kind of major price action. But if it doesn't follow through, especially when you're hitting major numbers, doesn't take long to understand that. So total index with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, just sitting up here. I wouldn't even be surprised. Look, remember, you got your upper end resistance, dynamic support, and then the median line. So median line trailing support puts you at 1.3. I mean, it's not anything big. It's just almost kind of a technical assumption up to the top range, come down, you know, something like that. If we were up here trending, exploding, you would be it'd be a different location. But you're still within the constraints of the trend. It's been strong, it's been bullish, but you can't escape those limits. You're going to have to go through some short-term digestion or indigestion, if you will. Couple more. Let's look at the stocks. So I mentioned Riot Blockchain was one of the new ones for my folks. I talked about that under $10. We were, $10 was the entry. That's just another one taking its time. Okay, hits a zone. Perfect example of inability to really bust through. Okay, from here all the way through, we were thinking maybe it goes to target one now. But it gets to the top range of the zone. And this is what I mean by, it only takes 1 or 2 bars when you get to certain levels. If you bust through something like that and you go 1, 2, and 3 even, where you have some kind of 3-bar breakdown under 16, under 17 there, then it's not following through. And, coming back, retesting the zone, especially because it's a big weekly multi-year chart, not surprising. For us, we had this confirmation. So this is just, it's going to take time, but you have everything you want to see there. When I get into other stocks, we'll look at a few recent ones where it was a delayed reaction and it finally took off. Yep. Let's go to, I'll look at Coinbase. Why? Big bat pattern on the 12-hour. Let's see that. Big HSI on the weekly. 106 area. I'll go to the hourly. 12-hour, he says. I have a crab pattern. That's on a 12-hour chart, no confirmation. I don't disagree. Or I could say, I agree. It's all about this, really, you'd almost say that that's kind of a strange shark because that went nominally lower, 886, 109, crab pattern 104. Yeah, we're getting some inflection here too. So those are good early signs. That's probably it for now. Not that it's going to be a horrendous correction, but what's the framework saying? You're into a type 1. You'll know by today's close, like a close under 103.95. That's probably it. And then come back for target 1, 88.28. I do think you'll get an arrow. You'll get a dot. It's not registering yet. It won't until the close, but you have HSI. You have a check back, 1 bearish, 2 bearish candles. So maybe today would be the start of that. Of course, you also have Nvidia. Get to Nvidia in a second, but I think you've come a long way. You've come a long way in 20 calendar days, no doubt. A few more. Got to look at Microstrategy, because I think Microstrategy, that is, it's really all about at what point do you buy it for it to go from where it is to say 800 or 1,000. Do we just buy it right here where we've got a bunch of signals of overbought? No. But it's certainly doing things that it hasn't done since it topped out in the last cycle. You've got just generally, this stuff matters. Even though it's a 12-hour chart, you've got some kind of capitulation low. You're trying to confirm it. Definitely confirm it. Absolutely confirm it. Why? Because we can, at this point, not here, but there, we can finally, for the first time, trace out some kind of W formation that says, all right, at least you can do something like that, or 496 connects some dots, gets me to like 700. And I don't, I don't think that's crazy talk. There you go. Even on the weekly. Yeah, and the weekly's showing, yes. Check it out. So we have a deep crab at the moment, trying to print some confirmation this week, but you would need to retest check that. High end of that crab is 602. All right, and I think that, that's probably getting up there. You're hitting some overbought there, maybe next week. It looks like it wants to go a little bit higher and hit these levels before it does some kind of corrective move. Nice deep crab, just no confirmation yet. Longer term, yeah. In fact, I would love to see a dot in like 2 or 3 weeks up here, do something like this, off of the hop, go down, and then skyrocket, like do the move. What's up, Mateo? Thanks for showing up. AG. Isn't that silver? Don't know. Yeah, Daniel, what's going on? Daniel's got a good point. Are the small caps in play yet or what? Because 2 years is straight down. For real. I mean, that's absolutely it. It's, I think on a larger level, are you going to get this market breadth to really spread out? Or is it just going to keep being the same 7 stocks? If the market breadth could expand, then it would be, the market would moon. It would absolutely moon. And have Microsoft continue, and Google and Amazon and Intel. I said that last time. That thing's that's a bigger winner than I even thought. That thing is probably going to 50. All right, let's jump over there because of course, Nvidia. What do you do with Nvidia? It's 496. It was some high level. I talked about this last time, that this next time would be everything announcements this afternoon. If we pop, we go to 555. That's it. That's the only place it can go. Longer term, just to give you perspective, the semis are dominating and they're just acting like they want to start a whole new cycle. And I mean in terms of new cycle, you have to go back to like 2020 here, which is amazing on Nvidia because it wasn't even a 2020 low. 2018, 2019, that was $34. But once it broke out, and that's what you're thinking here. So what hasn't broken out yet for these type of semis? Because I think Nvidia, the calls are ridiculous. What are the calls? Like, for example, so Friday calls for Nvidia. The 500s are trading for 17. They're asking 1730 at the moment. And the stock's down 650. So the premiums are outrageous. But I do think the chips are still to play. And there's probably other places, the ones that have gotten beaten up recently. Intel's still a nice one. Nvidia 5-minute. I like that. I mean, this makes sense to me for Nvidia. You do something like, hold on. Bottom out here and return the retest. If I was looking at that any other day, I would say, Yeah, Nvidia's probably washed out. 492. If I could get it. You've got a couple of 5-minute dots here. And that's what the regular trading hours. What's the extended look like? Nothing really there yet. I mean, that is a type 1 deep crab. Yeah, I guess he'd look for that return move. I'd want to see something. I'd want a bullish pattern, here, not there. And that was extended hours anyway. Go to the regular trading hours. Like, give me some kind of 5-minute. Yeah, if we were like retesting that shark. But that might be enough. Where it does the return move. And this is the setup too, where, I mean, what you're basically asking of this position is you're going to retest and just blow through to like 550. We'll come back on Thursday, I guess, and we'll look at that. Actually, Thursday, no, we won't be here. Enjoy your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. Thanksgiving holiday here in the States. But one stock does not make it. What we really need to look at, first of all, semi ETF, because if this is going to be, so I should jump to the Qs as well, but SMH on a 5-minute chart. Deep crab, regular crab, already in a type 1. I would just, look, let's line it up. Oh, did we? Yeah, here it is. I wanted to show you this. So SMH is in back-to-back patterns. There's bearish patterns here. Up here, right around 150 is your XA level. It's a perfect bat pattern. And there's confirmation. But we're 30 bars into this. So it is something where either give me another confirmation, not close, or fail the pattern. And a failure is above 170. Like blow through 170 and then start, much like you saw with Nvidia, do something like this, do a 1618. That's the only possibility, and that gets you to 209, 210. So we're going to get a breakout. It probably starts tonight. It literally starts tonight. And SMH, it's not, I'm not even thinking anywhere under 200. I'm thinking this is a massive continuation. You have to fail. You have to fail it here. I mean, in terms of, you have to have the breakout now. No breakout, nada. You're into more consolidation. But if you get it, then you're going to have to look at things like, and you guys know I've been talking about Intel since under 30. Where's Intel now? 43.68. Let's check it out. Back to back. Amazing. We hit our target one, which was 41.36. We blew through it, and we now have a bat pattern. Hop level 43. I'm looking right here, 43. That's on the weekly. Watch what happens next week. If that rolls over, gives you an inflection, that's it. Okay, you're really on the edge here of this is the target all along. We probably will get HSI to pivot out now. It looked like it was going to blow through. If it really was going to blow through, it should be another week up. And it probably, that's why today's earnings critical. Something like Intel, I don't care, any bullish close is going to be, especially bullish close above last week's high at 44, anywhere above 44. You close it, it's a straight shot to 51. But again, longer term, it's another example of a massive pattern looking left. It seemed like everyone was throwing Intel away. Under 30 bucks, it was just like, what are people thinking about throwing this away? But if it's a new cycle, let me just clean it up. You guys can see it. It's better that we have patterns there. But Intel, You tell me. Just came all the way back to long-term uptrend. And now we go like this. Amazing that we haven't broken out to all-time new highs. That was 2000, and that was a real frothy move. I traded that. I was long Intel up into there, had a bunch of things around 55 and freaked out when it went to 70, but it was vindicated like a month later when it crashed. But this is not like that. If anything, your obvious retest resistances go back into this range here. So it makes sense that we are only first thrust kind of a thing with Intel. I think Intel is more like minimum $50 or even $60. But that's a nice chart. So that be aware of that. And look, here's the deal with the Qs and SPY. So Qs and SPY, we had patterns there. There you go. It's alternate bat. I think we've always come back to the fact that really what this is a crab. It's this crab on a weekly. 384. That was our retest target all along for last month, since last month. And we had arrows down there. We had HSI. So here's the retest. Now, do we go to the hop at 418 or do you get some kind of confirmation in here? And this is where HSI, amplified, or even looking at standard RSI is going to be a big help. My guess is that you're not there yet. Not guess, my conclusion really. Why? Because your 50 is there. You're off the 50. I mentioned this where you have a complex structure. This is an RSI BAM return move. Even standard HSI. We have anything here? Like playing that Q move. 5 minute where our midday dot, I guess, a little overbought. Look, I think it's still up. Here you go. 385. What's the extended 5 minute look like? Something there. No, not yet. Couple from 2 days ago, 3 days ago. But I'm looking for this. Check it out. You're looking for your immediate things on daily, weekly. 394 is a target from the shark pattern. T2 target. I think we could reach for that. You're obviously you're close to the end of the move. But if it's 395 or if it's 418, that's what we're trying to figure out. It's not 389. I mean, 384 was a first stop kind of a thing. Get some perspective on all time. Where are you? All time is 412. And I think 395 to hit target 2 at a minimum makes sense. And now, so you're looking for pullbacks. You're still looking to buy that stuff. Yeah, things like just from the other day. We had a couple of oversold last week on Wednesday. And that's low 380s, 384, where you're looking for this target move. Like just ride that trend line up to, well, there's 395, but I think 405 or 415, something like that into December. Yeah, it's not a short window. It isn't a short opportunity yet. You're retesting the top end of the range. So whatever Nvidia does, I don't think it really matters. Because I think people are just going to want to, they want to go in. They want action on this stuff. So Nvidia gets a little follow through move even for the next couple of weeks. That's going to bring everything else up with it. SPY is pretty much similar, higher targets, daily, weekly. You're at big 886 up here at 453, and you know we did talk all along. Look, there's targets up here, 440.25. That was our minimum objective off of the 411 low, and then we're saying okay, probably wants to overrun, retest 451 and change, which we're there. So now what are you going to do? Because look, you're hitting overbought. Indicators are trying to roll over. Be aware of that. I mean, you've run a long way. What I'm saying here. You don't have anything yellow dot or anything just yet, but watch this in the next day or so. Okay, really important. Watch what happens up here. I think, yes, we will pierce this. Are we going to do it just now? And we're going to get a big candle tomorrow, something like that. Something huge. Maybe not up 20, but up like 8, 10, 12. I mean, you need a big breakout move like that. I think you've already done a lot. There are patterns. So what Daniel was saying earlier makes a lot of sense, because are we going to get these smaller cap companies, not these $1 trillion, but the 100 to 500 billion? That used to be mega cap, but you want to see it. Here's one that I posted, Caterpillar. I posted that last week. Really nice deep crab. Come on. There you go. Target 1. That was it. Maybe you're going to come back. You generated HSI yesterday. So type 1 move is probably over here. And if we had already done the retest, I'd say, yeah, now it's ready to go. But we're seeing a lot of these. Keep an eye on it. Slow movers, but they're, you know, they've done a nice first thrust move. Here's Mondelez. Just to give you a sense of the kind of patterns that we just had, the type of reaction, but a lot of these are not, they're just type 1 moves. Ah, come on. Hold on. There it is. So that's a deep crab. Nice, beautiful move, but rolls over in the next couple of days, then it's not going to spread out. Not yet. One or two more. Things like Coca-Cola. Remember that? Yeah, now almost 58. Target 2 on Coke is 62. Stay with it. And if anything, the Coke deal would be amazing if it got to 62 and then just had a massive breakout. That would tell you this is much bigger. But at least it's coming off of a type 2 where you know that possibility's there. Couple more. APVs asking when the price crosses the hop level, does it invalidate? Two thoughts. One, is it type 1, type 2? And do you have confirmation? Here's Coca-Cola. It was a type 2. So the deeper retest is common. This one, look, it did run all the way down to the hop. The low was 51.55. The hop was 51.59. So just because it went beyond it a few pennies doesn't mean it's invalidated. Confirmation came 2 weeks later. But certainly, say, under 51, yeah, you have a problem with it. It has to be a real clear violation. A close under the hop, you start to get suspect. We're looking in the precise area. That's the key. See if I can find one or two other ones that are like that. I'll circle back. Let's look at quickly, speaking of type 2 tests. So crude oil, it's coming in here for finally the type 2 retest. And that's at 70. So remember the bat from 70 to 93, instant rejection off of 93. Well, now we're back here 70. And that's a big retest for crude oil. A lot of the weekly patterns in XLE, they have finally rolled over. This longer term, like, I think that was a weekly, yeah. It's a weekly crab. It might even be a monthly crab. Let's see how this gives it up. Nothing here yet to would say, you know, even if maybe this is just a reaction. No, I think you got to stay with that. You did get confirmation. When was that? September. And rolling over. You're waiting for, well, I guess this would be a type 2. There's T1, $, T2, confirmation. Okay. Let's see what happens XLE next week. You're looking for that drop, certainly to $70. I think 70 is a big number for crude oil. You see it down there, you start looking. A few more. So let's circle back a couple of the 3 ideas that I've shared with folks in the past. Things to think about to keep it real. And Target. A lot of things going on with Target where the narrative was horrible. The patterns, 110, we've talked about that, did nothing for 2 or 3 months until they finally popped. Last day, 1 week. Target 1 is still 136 off of the daily structure. All right, but you're looking, you really, what you want is it to be this. You want it to be this weekly bat, which I think it could be. And then you go and continue. Target 1 minimum 166. So we'll see. It's either 140 or it's 166. But a lot of things going on there where you could be positioned perfectly for 2 months and think, what am I doing with this stock? And then it only all in one day goes. But that's how it rolls. Not surprised. A couple more, like the big ones. So AMD, we were talking about that, 95 bucks. What are we gonna do? Is this gonna blow through here, or are we done? 95 looks on the daily. There you go. It was a shark. Okay. Retesting the bearish pattern. Today we're printing a yellow dot. So I'm almost ready to go on defense and say, is this it? Is this just the type 1 move? Because really, it should be blowing through. If it was going to do a massive breakout move, I would think we'll have to see what Nvidia does, because it will run everything. Yeah, I don't know about pump the market, Spoon. I'm thinking it looks like it. Everyone wants that to happen, but we know how that goes. When everyone wants the same thing to happen at the same time, probably doesn't happen. And then a couple of these others, look, didn't really mention Amazon printing some dots up here. We have some bearish resistance. So, you know, 240s, 243, 240, excuse me, 143, 145 area, 147 even recently, come back to 132. In any other situation, just reading that, that's what we say. You have, I mean, things that are super strong. Microsoft, Apple, Microsoft, someone said just buy it. Every day it's down. Maybe. But here's what we have on the daily. So again, we're at the hop. Who said that? Had that question about the hop level? I forget. APV. Perfect example of here's a shark pattern, and that's common. Hits the hop. Now, rolling over. But it exceeded it. I mean, we closed above it yesterday. There's the dot 5 days ago. So you're looking at that hop. That's acceptable tolerance. What you're really looking for is like a 3-bar break. Break 1, 2, 3 range, or even 1, 2, 3. Break under 367. Set you in a correction. But just because Microsoft is probably one of the strongest stocks in the market does not make it immune to hitting its top end of the resistance range. That's where we are. Weekly time frame too. Check it out. It's a shark on the weekly. Hops 368. So it's an easy spot to be in here and say, oh, yeah, it's just riding on through. No, you're starting, if it was really strong, this being week 2, 3 weeks ago you hit it, we'd be higher. We'd be blowing through. Be 390, 400 already. Those kind of wiki action, 1 week, 2 week, maybe wants to pause here. But longer term, yeah, Microsoft, it's the favorite. The government's going to shovel money to those guys forever. Nothing stops there. 1 or 2 more. Here's Netflix. Remarkable. Netflix is a daily. Yep. Remember we were looking for that to go back to 436? Hold on. There you go. It ran to the hop. There's the T1, and it formed a bat pattern bullish. T2 generated a couple days ago, right back on the retest, straight up. I mean, let's see what happens at 478. I mean, that's something where, hey, if you blow through the hop level here and close like anywhere 480, yeah, that is a failure. You're not doing anything with that except for using the bearish pattern as a target. That's what we've been talking about. I mean, we talked forever, 437.50, and it just blew through. There was no confirmation until about 445, 450. Let's see. Because if that's going to be something bigger, and you are going to blow this out, and then you do here talk about regression channel. Here you go. This thing just continues. It's like that. So your next swing of the regression channel lines up with about 500. XA levels 545. Let's see. Yeah, this no doubt. Nvidia thing is going to affect everybody. I'd be looking for opportunities on any pullback. Yeah, there's MicroStrategy. Come back to 381 and then go. Would be the kind of thing. Set you up for next year. I guess that really is it. I mean, really, you want one more pullback to set you up for a bigger run, a big, just a bigger explosion. What's CCI, Daniel? I haven't seen that. CCI, some of these others. Crown Castle. Oh, that's nice. There's been a few of those. Cummins Engine is another one. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I agree with your statement. Is the market going to spread out to things like this? Because that should be the bear market, the end of the bear market with patterns like this. We're seeing it across the board. You had a couple others. Uh-oh, CZ just he resigned from Binance. Is that real? Is that real? Where's BNB at? Jonas, is that real? I'll have to look at that up. One or two more. What's Hazy? I don't know what that is. I'm sure there's a fat pattern. Nice one. Thanks, guys. Oh, CZ hasn't tweeted anything, but a lot of you guys are saying it's real. All right, get these guys out of the way. You want the old characters out. You want them gone. Get them out for the next cycle. Hannon Armstrong, sustainable infrastructure. I agree. Look, a lot of those solar energy plays are all like that. I keep doing that. CSUN, that was from long ago. CSIQ, First Solar, a lot of these. There you go. Some weekly patterns. With a lot of these that, like the one you mentioned, they might just grind into the end of the year and then pop come January 1st. So let's see if that plays out. I'm looking at those. I agree. The other one, again, these are industrials. They're not the mega tech cap. Here's Cummins Engine. And it's really close. It's a shark type 2, down around 210. But it's another one where you don't get these patterns too often. You don't get them on sale. They're usually long-term uptrends. I mean, just no matter what. And so you're about to get a T2 on Cummins Engine. 210. There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those. The other one, I think, is Deere. Not the animal. The machine company. There you go. Several patterns here. And these patterns are forming back to back as it works its way out of this channel. Just look at where the patterns are topping out. It's pretty clear where that resistance comes in, supports like that. And what you're looking for is one of these patterns to launch you into a massive new cycle. Here's the weekly with those other lines. There you go. Think of it that way. You take all the patterns off on the daily. Sorry. This is what we're really trying to look for into next year. You're looking for this consolidation zone of the last few years, finally break out, continue long-term uptrend continuations. What's up, David? We looked at the QQQ like 20 minutes ago. Check that out. Still looking higher. But of course, all depends on Nvidia today. So listen, because of the holiday, I'm not going to do any Thursday, but I might do a Black Friday snap session. So maybe that's what we'll do. And we'll give a bunch of stuff away and let you guys win some software. And then you can come to the crypto seminar on the 6th of December. I also will let you know if I'm going to change that. There's thought that I might change that from the 6th to maybe the 1st, which is a week from Friday. So come on back. Let's do it Friday. It's Black Friday, of course. You have any questions, get over to me. I didn't even give you guys the whole deal. Go over to Harmonic Trader. The Black Friday deal is the time to get with everything, to subscribe. You can use this Black Friday code from my website if you want to subscribe as a silver or gold member. It's Black Friday HPC. Otherwise, just get the trial. And if you get the trial now, take the 2 weeks, then you'll know what, you'll have a really clear idea. If you have any doubt, you can try them all. But get started on harmonictrader.com. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Come on back Friday. Let's do Friday, 12 noon. Until then, have a great one. Go